wasn't. Here, stay. Hey. Okay, thank you. Okay. When we train, we usually have we assume that you're in good shape, healthy, nothing's wrong with you. You have free, full body movement, and everything is wonderful, and that allows you to defend yourself a little more effectively. Okay. However, there are times, particularly those of us who are more experienced in life and have been on the mat for a few years, when we have had injuries that have precluded the use of one extremity, not one arm at a time. There have been times when I know after I had my knee replacement, I was back on the mat in about 6 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. Now there are things I could not do, but you learn workarounds, and part of the ability of having workarounds and disabilities is having a good core of your basic understanding of your basic techniques. Okay, because once you have that core, this is why it's really. If I were to do this with green belts, it would be a total loss of time, okay? Because they don't have the depth of technical knowledge to figure out, okay, what do? I can't use my right arm and I'm right-handed. Or I can't use my left arm and I'm right-handed. Or I injured my foot, I can stand on it, but I really can't put too much weight on it, or I can't maneuver it well, okay? And all of these are physical limitations. If you have a broken leg, you're done. Okay, you're going to lie there on the ground and suffer, unless you can drag yourself away or someone comes to your aid. Okay. But other extremity injuries, you really have to be able to find workarounds too. And your uke has to be aware that you may do techniques that they're not normally expecting, in sequences they're not normally expecting, and some of the techniques you're going to do may appear more unorthodox, and they're also going to be dependent upon your own flexibility, okay? Which is why in Jiu-Jitsu we really stress the importance of being flexible. No, it's number one, you know. I go to my doctor's office, she says, can you touch your toes? I say, sure, and she says, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Absolutely. Really.
You know, yeah, because as you get older in life, and I'm preaching to the choir here, as you get older in life, your flexibility is more important than having all the muscle mass. Okay, I'll look at this side of it. Anyway, so what we want to do, okay, the first thing we're going to know, I'm left-handed, okay, so I do have we have a strong side, we have a weak side. Seki taught everything right-handed, and then he switched to left-handed, okay, just to give right-handed people some grief. And so I'm going to start out using my weak side, which is your strong side, and let you, then we'll get to doing things left-handed, okay, which is my strong side. So we're going to start off with, bring more Peter, because, okay. We're going to start off with, let's turn around. We're going to start off, and I don't want you to do, simple throat things. I want you to do try and do some legitimate techniques. Yes, nerve techniques are fine, etc., etc. But nerve techniques, as we talked about last night in class, are really just a precursor to doing something else. They're a distraction. But anytime you are limited in terms of your extremities, you do have to use distractions, okay? Because you're at a disadvantage. So, Mr. Peter here is going to come and grab me. Let's grab me. Now, and all I'm going to do, okay, he's here, and what joints are available? What's the easiest available joint?
wrist.
It's got a wrist, okay, but I've got one hand.
Oh, which hand is out?
Left hand's out. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what?
I would sweep down.
Okay, let's try for a sweep.
No. I mean, if we're doing a hand thing, I would sweep down.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now is to keep this out of the way here. I need to come up with a distraction. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn, hit, come in the elbow, and take him down. And this on the street would be a drop down. Nice knee on the side. And then the shoulder can be on the side of the shoulder. So all we're doing here is he's grabbing hold, I'm stepping in, hitting. That's there. I'm just hooking in and pivoting back and down. Okay, as best I can. Okay. Now I've got to go to him because I only have one hand and I really can't control where he goes. Okay. Another thing I can do. Okay, again with toe grab. Okay, I've got one hand. Turn around so you see Budoshin Jujitsu. Okay, I'm just going to come under his thumb. And this is going to go under a shoulder lock or takedown. Or to go the other, whatever I want. Now, if you're going to do this, don't pull the thumb. This is the base, thumb underneath, and all I'm going to do is bend this down. And he will go down, or he will break his thumb and go down. Once he goes down, you keep hold of the thumb, unless you've already broken it. Okay. I'm going to loosen it up slightly, rotate my hand this way, and now I will break the thumb with it. Okay? Because you've only got one arm. You don't want him getting back up and coming after you. Okay? You've got to keep the puppy happy. Okay, so your two choices, okay, is to step in, hit, get the elbow, hook the elbow, bring it into, create that the wide point. Step in, bring that into you, hit it back. You may have to bend over a little bit, bring it down, and then you would drop down on it. Or a little fancier, grab that hand, bring it around, do a wrist press, and drop down. Or you can come around, sit around. Well, you've only got one hand, so you have to stay away from the fancy stuff. Okay? And most of us know from jiu-jitsu training that the more complicated the technique, the less likely it is to work on the street. It's great for tournaments and tests and demonstrations, but street, okay. That one or the Budoshin Jujitsu. And again, if you want, you can come in for a submission. Grab the thumb, turn it back, take it down. Slowly. Okay? Yes?
So pretty much you're going to need like you did with the kick to the groin, a distraction to free up the thumb enough to be able to get that initial proc, right?
Not always. Sometimes no one expects to have the thumb pulled back. But yeah, you can, a distraction helps. If he relaxes momentarily, it's easier to figure. When you slip in, it is this way. Don't do it this way. Think that you're getting ready to milk a cow. Okay? This is utterly impossible. That plan works. Okay, I want you to try these two.
Okay, and I don't know whether I want to deflect it or block it. Which one do you want, a block or deflection?
I personally prefer deflections because I like to keep the position going.
Okay, so we're going to have him come in for a hit. We're going to block out. Okay, now the easiest available target is what? Face. Okay, he's got glasses on, so I'm going to be considerate, but I'm simply going to come up, go to the nose.
Oh no, that's very sensitive.
What?
It's sensitive, yeah.
Okay, I'll go on the side of the face. Okay, sure. Normally I'd go on the nose. Okay, here. Now you might think I want to turn around. I want to get him to this point. I'm going to bring him back towards me. Okay, with the side of his head towards me, and then slowly go down. Okay. Now, If I bend forward when I go down, his neck is in trouble. If I just go down straight, he will probably be okay. I won't guarantee it, but odds are it's something that he can control and something I can control. But if you just want to solve his problem, because his head is against you sideways and you tilt it forward, something has to give. Okay, and again, you're disabled. You only have one hand. Okay, but again, all we're going to have you do is he's here, is come across, around, step behind. Get the nose, actually. Bring it down. Can I bring it down against the side of my head? Okay, and then if I want, I can bend forward or I can just step back. If you want to take him down by himself, is your finger would come out and wrap around the nose, okay, or you can actually do it with his chin, okay, in spite of the beard, and then I'm going to pivot all this back and down and take him down, okay? So I want you to try one or either one of those. Take your time with it, okay? Okay? Let's go. Having the head sideways, okay, and going down straight versus bending over is the same as if you have, you know, this choke going on a person. Where people run into problem is not with the choke or putting the person out, is that the problem with that technique as a control technique is that when you're bringing the person down, unless you have all these vertebrae here straight, when he goes down, you can cause some serious or permanent injury. And that's where law enforcement people run into problems with this technique, is because the guy's struggling and moving all over, and they may be trying to take him down straight, but he isn't cooperating. And so that's where the injuries really occur. And that's why it's a, you know, this choke, it's a great choke. It's very effective. You know, you can take a person out with it, but the problem is if he's struggling, you run the risk of some really serious injuries unless you can control this part. Okay. Is he going to be okay? Okay. We're going to make it a little more complicated. We're going to make it a grab and a hit. Okay. So he's going to come in, he's going to grab with one hand. Okay. You've got to you don't want to deal with grab and this. Okay. You can, but all you can do from here is come around here, and you really don't have anything at this point, because at that point it becomes a matter of strength versus strength. Okay. He straightens his arm, you're in trouble. So if a person grabs you, you need to have just an immediate response. It has to be an automatic reaction. He grabs you and get out to his side and away. Okay? And so what I want your attacker to do is if he does it with his left hand, you got to do something else with his right hand. Okay? So if he's going to do it with his left hand, he's going to come in, and he wants to come in for a hit. Okay, you've got to deflect this across and get out of the way. That's the best thing to do. Okay, and step back. And he may be smart enough to figure out that I don't want to mess with this guy because he might actually hurt me now. Okay, it's the least offensive thing you can do. The only other thing you can do, again, he comes in with a hit here, is come across. You can come around, knee him, okay, then go for his face and do some technique on his face, okay. Or he comes in with a grab and hit, come around, hook in, try and do a taitoshi or drop throw or something of that sort. Okay, from Uke's point of view, be aware his other arm, bring it across, his other arm could be stuck in here. So if you're going to do this, make sure the uke takes his arm out, because he's going to need something to break his fall with. Because if you're only grabbing with one hand, you can't control his fall. Okay? So he needs to protect himself. Okay, so again, let's just show this one more time. He's going to grab, going to block, come around, under, come in. Okay, now he took his hand out this time. And now I'm set. I can just come in, do a drop throw, take him down. Come in, strike to the face. Okay? So that's what we're going to have you try. I don't care whether you do a hip throw, whether you do a... You okay? Yeah. I don't care whether you do a hip throw, whether you do a drop throw standing, or a drop throw going down under your right knee. Okay? And take your time with it. Do you want to see what was done? Okay. Is on this technique, okay, he grabbed with the right and hit with the left. And you need to practice this, because, you see, what I would do for this is probably come in here and attempt to do a cross-body hip throw, or come into the nose and take him back down that way. Okay? So, it really shouldn't matter how your attacker attacks, left or right. You're stuck with only using your right arm. Okay? Or, in a little while, once I get through what I want to cover, I'm going to have you go back and try and do as many of these things with just using your left hand. Because then that will be, then Thomas, and anyone else here left-handed? Okay, half of us will now have the advantage that the other half had, okay? Because okay, enough of La Boca. Okay, next one is going to be a headlock. Okay, he's going to put a headlock on me. I don't care what side. Okay, there we are. We're in good shape. This hand can't be used. He's only using one hand too. Isn't that nice of him? Okay, now he's in better shape. All I'm going to do... that's not going to work. I held onto it wrong. There we are. Okay, all I'm going to do... Shark bite to loosen him up. Okay, or I can come in and Charlie horse, whatever I want. Going to reach up, grab the thumb, or grab any finger. It doesn't matter. You're going to bend that finger back. It's the easiest of you. The rationale, if you got one hand, you go for the closest, easiest target. And his hand, you can see his hand. Okay? Then from here, I'll go into whatever technique I'm going to go into. Okay. Around, take him down, whatever, Odds are you will break his finger before you get the throw in. Okay, get the thumb or fingers. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what side. If he wants to do it on the left side, okay, fine. I can knee in. Okay, this time I got 3 fingers. Bend it back. Okay, once you get your hand in there, don't pull. Bend back. Okay, it doesn't matter which hand you get. You can have a nice finger throw, shoulder lock rear throw. Okay, Tai Tosh with an arm bar. Okay, that gets a little too complicated for the real world, but we're experienced martial artists, so we can put half a dozen techniques together, and hopefully one of them will work. Okay, so I want you to get in a headlock. Your only usable hand is your right hand, or 2 fingers, or a thumb, or a toe, or 2 toes, or same thing for a wrist lock or anything. You're after a reaction from their body. Okay? And if you do something and it gets the person to move in a direction that you want, you continue doing what you're doing, whatever it is. Okay? And they will either, on the street, they may break something. In here, you're going to say mate, or tap them, or something of that sort. But that is the key. You go for something that's going to get a physical reaction from them, not, is this working, or let me, I know you're playing around with things at times to see what you can get, but in a street situation, as you get better at this, you'll find more effective things to do that will work faster. all of you are using distractions, that's good, because you need the distractions. Okay. Going to borrow Justin here, and we're going to do a rear bear hug. Let's make it complicated. Rear bear hug. Just below the elbows, because that's a little harder to deal with. Okay, so we're going to bear hug me just below my elbows. Okay, so, and I've got and all I can do is use my left hand. Okay, and let's add as an additional problem, I hurt my left foot, or pick a foot for me to have it somewhat injured. I can't really do much with it. Pick a leg other than both. Okay, right leg. Okay, so I'm really stuck. I can put weight, maybe put weight on it, but I can't really use it for much. Okay, so all I have is my right hand. Okay, this is not a good situation. So,
Yeah, don't worry about it.
okay, so anyway, what we're gonna have you do, the only thing available is my butt. Okay, and this is a tight one to get out. Yeah, he's gonna give me grief. That's not going to work. Okay, I'm stuck here, and I can't use my. I can't use my right leg. That's my problem. Okay, so let's. That means I have to keep my weight on my right leg, or weight on my left. See, if you have one leg that's causing problems, you can't do really too much.
You have 0 legs.
I really have 0 legs. Okay, so what can I do from here? His head's. I could try that a couple times, okay, but he put his head down now. My other alternative is now to go down and up. Surprisingly, that worked. Grab the hand, take it around, okay. I really don't have anything here. Grab 2 fingers, bend them back. And here I'm using my little finger as the brace. Or second finger, any other finger, okay. But if you can get out, okay, if I can get out, see, he's above my elbows. Well, I want him, okay, if I can get out, okay, press down, that gets the release. Grab a finger, turn it around, and now we're into Wally J's cool stuff. Okay, because now we're set and we can have fun with him. And you can use your little finger as a brace, any finger you want. 4th or 5th finger, or next to the last or last finger, are usually the best. And then you can take him down, you can take him up, sideways, and go wherever you want with him. Okay? But the hard part is because you are being blocked just below the elbows, it limits your flexibility. If he blocked me above the elbows, trapped me above the elbows, I've got my hands. Okay, once you get just below the elbows, you don't have your hands. Okay. Okay, so you've got to use your body or something else to get out. And when you get out, okay, this is the normal release if someone bear hugs you from behind and it's below your elbows. If you can get your elbow out, you come up, if you can get your elbow out, then you press down with your arm, with your forearm. And that should get a release by simple gravity. Okay, so that's your attack. I want you to deal with it. And you really can't do much with your feet because you've got one bad leg and the other leg is what's really holding you up. Okay, so let's see. Oh God. Going to be on the ground. Who wants to be, I'll use Justin because he's vicious. Okay, you're going to be on the ground. He's going to be on top of you. You're only going to have one good hand, your right hand. Okay? I have no idea what attack he's going to do because I'm not going to tell him what he's going to do. It's his free choice. I have to deal with it. Okay? So, at least I get down to the ground, okay? He's on top of me, whether it be kneeling, sitting, his discretion, I don't care. Okay, he's going to do whatever he wants to do at this point, whatever you're going to do. Okay, I'm here. Okay, I have room here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this around And I'm not going to be able to get any further with this. Okay, he's going to come in again, around, okay, here. Now I have something to do. Take this. He's off. Okay? You're going to have to come in with a fairly, if his knee is up, you're going to have to come in with a fairly good thrust.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't just do a little love tap to his cheek. Okay? What happens is, come in again with this attack. We'll turn this around a little bit. Okay. He comes in, he's here. This off balances him. Okay? That simply sends him on his way. Okay, and now I need to get up and get out of there, because he's going to come after me. Okay? Just take another attack. This is going to be a challenge. Okay. Well, he's still going to kneel. Oh, now he's going to sit. Oh, make it more difficult for me. Okay, now what is he going to do? Oh, he's going to choke me. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I've got one good hand. Here, I'm going to go for his face. Okay, and just rake across. Okay, or he's here, go for the nerve, grab lapel, pull the lapel. Okay, you have to go, the rule is you go for the closest available target, the closest thing you can get to. And that's why I say, when I said at the beginning, you need to have, if you have a good repertoire of basic techniques, this is not a difficult challenge. The higher your students are in rank, the easier this will be for them. But it requires, what's good about it is it requires them to think outside the box. Okay, what if? Okay, so you're going to have your attacker on you. I don't care whether he kneels over you, sits on you. He's going to do 2 or 3 different attacks. I want you to come up with something that works relatively fast. And if you mess up the first time, that's okay. You shouldn't, none of us here should be messing up the second or third time. Because we should figure it out. If we do something wrong, we should have figured it out for the second time through. Okay? And I'm not in a good position where he is, because if he has half a brain, when I'm down here like this, he's going to grab hold of that sleeve, take that leg up, and I'm going to go over too. Okay? And then we're back where we started from. Okay, thank you. Okay, so get a partner. Okay, let me, okay, I'll use you. Okay, grab my right hand with either wrist. I mean, grab my right wrist with either hand. Okay, this is such a cool attack. Okay, now, normally, and this is what happens in class, and we have this problem too. We say grab the wrist, and they grab the wrist, and they stand there. Okay, on the street, nobody is going to do this. They're going to pull. Okay, so if I say grab the wrist, this person is going to grab the wrist, and they're going to pull because they want you to go somewhere. And the normal reaction, we all know, is you pull back, and whomever is stronger wins. Okay, but we want you to help this person, and you're going to have to be careful with this technique. Okay, all you're going to do, he's going to pull, are you going to step in with him around here, get this, so I'm not going to go around like this, because that doesn't get me anything. Okay, all I want you to do is get his wrist perpendicular to the ground, bring your palm down on top of it, he's going to hold on, and he's going to go down, or he's going to get a broken wrist and go down. Okay, it's all pure leverage. Okay, I am not, if you look at this from the other side, I am not grabbing him with my thumb underneath. Okay, my thumb's kind of, you take thumb off, put it away, that would be the cool way to go. Fingers are on top. If I could get the thumb on top, that'd be fine too. My concern is to get his wrist perpendicular. If, rather than keeping it straight out here, I can bring it into him a little bit, this works even better. Okay, the more you bend it, the more it works. Okay, so all he's going to do, he's going to grab hold, he's going to pull, you're going to step in, nice elbow. I know his elbow is looking in my face. I'm here. All I'm going to do is bring this down. Okay? If I want, I can add an additional little push if I want to go backwards. Once he's going down, once you sense him going down, if you want him to go backwards, just a little push, it's all it takes. Because he's off balance from trying to going down. Okay, so you can try both of those, but do it carefully, because even doing that normally, the technique is designed to
Break the wrist.
break the wrist. Okay, so don't go, oh, you get to go to the hospital. We get to call 911. And you're
Pins and everything.
and you get to pay for the 911 call. Because that's what they do in Santa Clarita. Okay. Okay. A couple of things to be aware of on this. When you're doing this technique, okay, some people will come in and they'll get their hand kind of twisted and then they try and push down. And the problem is, if you do it that way, okay, can I just rotate this whole thing? See how my wrist is bent sideways? That's one problem. So I can't really exercise proper leverage, okay, because I'm sideways. The other thing is, because I'm here, his wrist is not perpendicular. Either it's going to be not perpendicular to the ground this way, or it's going to be turned too much, okay? And so what you have to do, and I just thought of this as we did it here, and it's after 48 years of teaching this, is if you simply come up and say hi, so that you get your hand as high as possible, and then you say bye, you're going to be in the right place. Okay? So it simply is a matter of hi and bye. Okay, now, the other thing is, we're practicing in here, students will say, well, he let go. Okay? Because this is normal. Okay, students will let go. If you do this on the street full speed, usually the person won't let go. And you can do it one-handed. In class, it's sometimes practiced with the other hand on top of this hand so he can't take it away. And all you really have to do, you don't need to do a death grip, all you really have to do is rest your hand on top of his hand. Okay? And he thinks you're going to do something with this hand, and then it's too late. Okay? Because once you start having this downward motion, he really can't let go.
Yeah, I was going to say something.
Yeah.
When I did it with you, and I pulled, I tried to give you a real pull.
Right.
And with a strong grip and a real pull, like I do in the street when I mug people at night, you know, I could not let go. I literally could not let go until you eased up the pressure.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the things, that's what part of learning is cooperating. The attacker has to cooperate with the person doing the technique. Okay, because that's the only way the person doing the technique learns how to do it properly. Okay, you have to have that cooperation. And some people may think that's kind of Mickey Mouse. I have to cooperate so the technique works right. Well, you have to realize you're learning. Yeah. It's a learning situation. And your uke is going to cooperate with you too. So
I wasn't cooperating. I was really trying to...
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I wasn't trying to...
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that many times a student, when they begin to sense anything, they'll let go right away. And so the person who's trying to learn the technique can't execute the technique fairly well, so they develop, for lack of a better phrase, they can't develop a feel for how the technique feels when it's being done properly. That's why you need the blindfold sometimes, so they can't look at what's going on. Okay, you've got 10 minutes left. I want you to try to go through some of these left-handed. Okay, and Thomas should have less problems, and Harold should have less problems, and I will have less problems too. Okay, so let's see what happens. Doing techniques one-handed, on the one hand, can be exceedingly frustrating. Okay, on the other hand, once you start getting it down, in terms of you go for the closest targets, you stick with the simplest possible techniques, things start to work. Okay, and it's important that you do this with your students. There are a lot of and I don't know how it works in other dojos. I know if I tell my students we're going to do groundwork next week, half to two-thirds of them won't show up. Because it's a whole different set of muscles, nobody looks good, everyone's tired and sore by the end of class. Okay, so I don't tell them. Okay, surprise. Okay, the other side of the coin is that when you're doing some of these things with your students, they need to be aware that, yeah, they may look awfully clumsy and klutzy and awkward, and things are going to, you may have brown and black belts who are wondering, why am I so lousy at this? I thought I had some rank here, okay? And what you need to spend a little time with them and say, we're doing something different. You're not used to doing this. It's, you know, I'm not worried about how good or bad you look. You will get better, okay? At the end of our classes, we do a couple of quote-unquote exercises that basically work with their reaction skills. And I don't care how lousy their techniques are. What I'm concerned about is that when they're attacked, they react and do something. Okay, as they move up in rank and experience, their techniques will improve. But you know, this is just an example of some of the things you can do that are different. That sometimes students will say, "Hey, we did something really neat last week. It was different." You know, and you know, like during the Brazilian guard position. We'll never do that in our classes usually, but we may now, you know, now we may take some of the concepts from that and apply that to what we're doing, and that's what this is about, is to give you some, not only to improve your skills and improve your students' skills, but to give you some different ways to teach the same old stuff. Because the same old stuff does get boring for your students and for you as a teacher or sensei. So, we're going to give you again, a 5 or 10 minute break. We're going to come back, and Thomas is going to be doing step in, step back, okay? And Thomas did have some concerns that I would be repeating some of his stuff on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, but
yeah. But I sent him an email. I said, don't worry, you're going first. I'll work around whatever you... okay. And even if I do repeat some of it, it's okay.
I'm going to be repeating what you've already done.
What, today?
Yeah, they're going to see a lot of the same techniques.
Okay.
I got another spin, don't worry.
Okay, but I know Thomas is flexible and very knowledgeable, and he'll come up with a different approach for it. And sometimes just the fact of having it shown a different way works better for some people. Okay? And I've taught stuff, and I've seen other people teach it differently. They say, wow, that is so much a better way to teach it. And then I steal their ideas. But that's okay. Okay, we're going to have a nice break.